Good day, Explora Bookworms. We're here in Frankfurt International Book Fair, or the FBM 2025. It's called here in German as the Frankfurt Bushmese, the biggest book fair of all time here in Europe and of the whole world. Has been around for 800 years, and so Explora Books will never miss the chance to be here with authors and storytellers from across the globe. And today we're going to talk about someone who has a story to tell, and we're very privileged to have an author who has written several books, and she came all the way from the United States just to be here with us to join us in this beautiful festival of books. Let's welcome Miss Claudette McLennon. Hello, Claudette.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have some clapping of hands from the background. You have a lot of friends here in Frankfurt. You're our favorite because you have such great energy, and we're youthful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm happy you said that.
Okay, talk to us about the first book, and you're gonna do a book distribution, book signing here by actually today. You have started. How is it so far?
It's been exciting and refreshing and overwhelming and all that good stuff. I have a lot of good people around me, so I'm great.
Let's talk about Sins of the Parents now. Contrary to her humor, this is a dramatic book. Am I right? It's Sins of the Parents. It tackles very, very sensitive topics, right? Tell us about it.
Yes. Sins of the Parents. It's really serious, and it deals with lots of human emotions. And although it is serious, there is hope in it, and that's what I like. There is triumph at the end for someone who is raised partly an orphan, and she's raised by her grandmother, who is so grief-stricken and bitter because she lost her daughter. She couldn't get out of herself to love a little baby, and that's the tragedy of all of this, that she could not love a baby. And because of this, her treatment of Marlene was harsh, abusive, and left Marlene feeling alone, unloved. And that's where the title comes from. At 12 years old, she still can't understand no mother, no father. She has a grandmother who doesn't love her, and she's like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone love me? I am too young to have caused all this chaos, so must be I'm paying for sins of my parents. So that's where the title comes from.
Wow. So it tackles Marlene Tulloch, am I right? Who is the main character, and sins of the parents. So these are the things that happen when you're a bad parent. You don't discipline your child, or what is it all about? What's a major lesson?
Not necessarily. Yes, some things can happen that are bad. Some things that happen that has no relation to the child in question or the person in question. But it is belief, biblical and otherwise, that whatever you do as an adult, it will revisit the generation coming up. And it's alluded to in the Bible. So it's not unusual, really. It's sort of like it's understood and it's accepted that this will happen. You do bad things, it might not catch you, but it catch the following generation.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So it goes all the way from one generation to another, but you have to break the chain somehow. Am I right?
Yes, you have to. They talk about generational curses. I've heard about that. And you have to be definite and intentional to break that curse. And one way you can do it, depending on whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
Like in Marlene's case, it was abuse, emotional as well as physical abuse. But she had to learn to override that. She had to move on. And one thing she did, which I was happy to know, is that she forgave her grandmother. With that forgiveness, she was able to move forward. See, when you don't forgive, when you harbor unforgiveness, It's like you're in an eddy and you go round and round and round and you don't move. You are stagnant and you will experience the same thing over and over again. But once she was able to forgive, she saw a difference. She saw light. There were people there that made a difference. And she was smart enough to say, not everybody is like my grandmother. And that's where her growth started.
Wow, amazing. And so forgiveness for of yourself and forgiveness to the people who have done bad towards you. It opens doors to for people. Am I right? And this is the major lesson of sins of the parents. All right.
Marlene is able to forgive her grandmother. It's other than that, she would not have been able to see that everybody was not like her grandmother, that there were people who were kind, there were people who showed her kindness, and growing up, she would isolate certain people. This lady gave her extra this one, her school teacher was always there to give her extra lessons, although she wasn't always at school.
Yeah.
And despite all that, she succeeded and she had a plan. She's like, I got to leave my grandmother in order for me to grow up and be whole. I have to leave, mostly to get rid of the abuse, but at least she had a plan.
Wow. That's amazing of you getting to imagine this story. What was your writing process like? I'm going to ask you now a very, a different question. I think that some people, when they write, they take something from their own experience. Was there someone that has does this have a string to your own life?
Yes and no. I heard of something. I worked in social services and I love to travel by public transportation. I just think there's such a wealth of
Stories.
things and stories that you can hear.
Yeah.
And I heard of an incident, and from that, this came out.
That's how.
But I also know because dealing with people and children who were victims of abuse, I sort of just put everything together. But it's not any just one thing. I drew from different corners of the world, so to speak, to put this together.
And this is something that's dramatic, emotional, and true to life because it happens to a lot of people at the same time. It's not something that is a work of your imagination, just a fluke of nature, fluke of your brain, but it is something which really actually happened to a lot of people. Am I right?
It does. People are asking me, is that you or do you know somebody? I really don't know of anyone per se. But what I will say is that while I was writing this, I stopped halfway one day and I'm like, what are you doing? You're sort of crazy to be writing this. So I called a friend and I said to her, I'm writing this book. What do you think and so? And she said, cut the nonsense. She said, this has nothing to do with you. God gave you a task. You need to do it.
Yeah.
Finish the book. And I did. So it was a lot of praying and soul searching when I was doing this. Should I? And then what bothered me a little bit is because I didn't want anybody to think I was picking on them, that I knew somebody and who this actually happened to.
Yeah.
Because it takes place in Jamaica and the US. And where I grew up, there are a lot of people there, but it wasn't about any one of them.
Okay.
But sometimes people mind because somebody said to me, I know George Tulloch. You sure this is not a real book? And I'm like, I made it up. I don't know anybody by that name.
By any chance, there is no connection to a real person, but the story itself has something to do with things that happen in reality to people's lives, not just one in particular, but a lot of people in the world. Now, talk to us about Let Go. This is another book, and what I love about your books is you have such amazing modern looking covers. These covers were all done by Explora Books, and well, I should be proud. Let Go by Claudette McLennon, a sweet story about letting go and forgiveness. Talk to us about this.
Well, I wish I could take credit for the covers, but I'm nowhere as artistic as these are. But I'm happy about them, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but I really like this cover. All right, now Let Go. It's the story of a teenager who just lost her mom.
Wow.
And she believed for 17 years that her father died in Desert Storm. Commander Moody, that he died while trying to detonate a landmine.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to her and her mother, he didn't die. He was thrown from his jeep by some 30 feet, and he actually survived. But nobody bothered to tell them that. The first news that went out was that he died. So imagine her surprise, Maddie's surprise, the day of her mom's funeral. She meets this man, and he's supposed to be her father. And she is livid. She wants to have nothing to do with him. She don't want to hear him. She said, well, if you're playing Lazarus, find someplace else to be Lazarus. I don't want to be with you. So that's what it is.
Wow.
So
Powerful message. I love that. Now, talk to us about Full Circle. You have another book right there. And it is actually one of the 3 books, which is The Return and Women of Passion. Am I right? Oh, no, sorry. That's the 2. The Return and Full Circle. Okay, talk to us about these 2 lists.
high school student, her last year of high school, she was sexually assaulted by 4 members of the football team. And unfortunately, they got away with it. The tragedy is that these perpetrators, they are all sons, pillars of the community. The congressman, the bank manager, the chief of police, and the only other. And nobody would say anything against them. So the DNA evidence, it was buried, things from the rape kit, her underwear, everything was just buried, thrown away. So there was no conviction. So Marianne is left devastated and to work through, to overcome the stigma, the hurt, and the pain. And that's what this is.
Wow. Full Circle.
Full circle.
It's a quest for justice, am I right?
It is. But the secondary story in this is that the mother, Clarice, years ago in Alabama, she knew of a situation where somebody who was accused of a crime, and she never said anything. And even though the person was arrested and tried, and she knew who the perpetrators were, and she said nothing. So now it was her take of this when she realized she was fighting for her daughters for justice, and nobody would help her because they were the pillars of the community, the rich people's children. So nobody wanted to go up against them. And when she went to confession that day, because she was feeling so angry that she would really hurt them. And it's at that point, it came back to her. You never help that person. Nobody is helping you. And that's why she said, oh my God, what did I do? It's coming full circle.
Wow.
That's where you got this.
Amazing.
Yes, but The Return, which is book 2 of it, Marianne has grown up. She has been through years and years of therapy. She, after a year out, she went to college, graduated, and she's now a nurse. But she has something for those 4 guys who raped her. So that's her return.
Wow.
She is back. Not only
Taking vengeance.
yes, not only that, but she is whole. That is part of the return. She's returned to like her normal self prior to the rape, where she can process things. She has grown up, but she decides and she believes desperately she owes them. So she's going back for them
Wow.
one by one.
I
She
love
takes
it.
them down.
This is women empowerment and this is vengeance. I love the bloody part of this. There are bloody parts of this book that I love. Very intriguing. Again, the full circle before we move on. Let Go, The Return, and Sins of the Parents are now available on Amazon, Barnes& Noble, and other leading digital outlets. So if you want a copy of this book, it's already available on your screen. That is already on QR codes. So you have the QR code of Sins of the Parents right now. And then the QR code of Let Go. Please scan it. The QR code of The Return and Full Circle. So scan all those QR codes and it will lead you to the Amazon page of the book. Now let's go now to Women of Passion Book 1. And there's a book 2 of that. But talk to us about book 1 first, Claudette.
Okay, Women of Passion. It's a play on the word passion. I just figured I will get the attention of many by using the word passion. However, there is passion, but not the one people think. They're passionate about what they have to do.
Yeah.
They have a mission. There are 8 ladies involved in here, but 6 form the core because the other 2 are just like 13 years old, 14 years old. But these other ladies are older. What happened, they met at a home for unwed mothers, Sisters of Mercy. And when they looked, the main character, Martha, when she looked at the 13-year-old whom the mother threw out of the house because she was molested by her own boyfriend, and it was that, and the 14-year-old, the same thing happened. They are blamed. They are victims, but they are blamed. So they made a pact that they would all finish high school, they would go college, they would be career women. A year after they finish, they would form a group, Women Against Sexual Predators, WASP, and that's what they call themselves. And they would set up, they would stamp out, and they would find ways of bringing justice for these children. They also want to get the perpetrators. You have bank executives, you have politicians, everybody.
Wow.
So that's what they are. So they set about getting fit because they scale walls, they jump down fire escape, anything and everything. And they plant cameras, microphones. They did what they had to do to get the
surveillance. Yeah.
Yes, so that the police can get these and arrest it. However, they do not exist. They don't take credit. They never leave their names. They wear gloves. They wear masks.
They're silent heroes.
Yes, and that's what they do. However, in the middle of this, Martha is arrested and charged for the murder of a judge.
Wow.
However, she is not the perpetrator. It's a 14-year-old girl, but she empathizes with the girl. She doesn't condone the killing, but for 14 years old, this man had been molesting this girl forever. So she told the girl, run, and she actually, she didn't think they would convict her, to be honest, because there was enough evidence to show that there were 3 people there. But of course, the mayor, the governor, they wanted blood. They wanted somebody to pay for this. He was a outstanding judge. He was well known and all of that. So she ended up being arrested.
Wow.
So at the end of this book, you see that she was released after 10 years. Once released, she was not satisfied. She needed to clear her name. She didn't want it. She got out because of good behavior. She wanted her name clear. She got out because she was innocent. And that's what happened.
Wow.
And
Now, book 2 is all about?
Book two is Martha Renee.
Change Martha Renner.
Martha Renee. And it's book two to Women of Passion.
Now talk to us about Change Martha Renee.
Okay, so Martha no longer, she's ambivalent. She's not sure if she wants to go back to her old job. She has to keep a low profile for a while. So she's not too involved in WASP, Women Against Sexual Predators. So it's very low key. But she has conflict. Now she has changed her life. She became a Christian. She's in seminary. She started it while she was in prison. So she doesn't know if she wants to go because although they were not criminals, they walked a tight line between breaking the law and being lawful. You know, the things they did to get convictions of these predators. So she has that ambivalent feeling. What I didn't mention in this is that Martha had two children. One was given up for adoption, the other one was stolen. So she has all this conflict. She don't know what to do. It has always haunted her that she gave the child up for adoption. And her desire is to find the child. She knows where the other one that was stolen is because she had found him in this book. She found him before. But she wants to find her daughter. So all of this going on.
Wow.
She gets like a vision of God directing her to find this child. She don't know why and stuff, and like 3 times.
Yeah.
And one day while she was doing her exam, she saw the person come and say to her, go to Prospect Park and find Maya.
Wow.
And after that, she did find her. Maya turns out, long story short, Maya turns out to be the daughter she was searching for. Maya is in need of a kidney, and so it all comes around. She's able to give Maya the kidney.
Yeah.
But before all that, now she's thinking she's living a double life. She's now a Christian, but nobody knows that she had these 2 children. So then she has to confess. So she got the family together and her grandmother is, oh my God, what are people going to think of us and stuff and, you know, all of that. And she's like, that's why I didn't tell you in the first place, all this guilt and so on. And her mother, Martha's mother, wants to meet her grandchildren. She doesn't know where the girl is, but the boy. So the mother files for visitation. Martha files an injunction against her mother. So there's a bigger conflict there and legal and everything. So it's
Messy.
It's messy to say the least. Because then the father can't take sides and the sisters can't take sides and the grandparents, and it's all chaotic.
Yeah. But this is a work of fiction, but this happens in real life. Am I right, Claudette?
Yes.
This is something that in the courtroom, people would normally, get to listen and really know about, right? So what was your inspiration for these 2 books, Women of Passion and Change Martha Renee? The other books, I'm sure you're inspired with the social work that you did. Am I right?
Yeah.
How about this one?
Basically, it's from the same line.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I did social work and I did for a very long time. And I like I said, I travel public transportation because I like to hear things, and I hear stories. But this one, I actually, I just made it up. I always thought that I would write something sort of mystery and stuff. And I like the idea of people doing things incognito.
Yeah.
So then I said, And then I said, maybe what I could do, I could give them a name. So
Yeah.
it took me a while to come up with a name, and I said, okay, Women Against Sexual Predators. And why not? In the job that I did, there are several times I met these young girls
Yeah.
that these men,
Yeah.
boyfriends, paramour, whatever you call them, of the mother who molest these children. So that is, it happens too many times. And what is always so hard about it is that they blame the kids
That's true.
They blame the kids.
It has-
So yeah, and I'm saying, it's time somebody was on the kids' side. Somebody should be there to say, this is so, and be an advocate. And in my life, in the jobs I've done, I seem always to be in that role. I'm always advocating for somebody. I'm always writing exception to policy for this and that and that. So I got good at doing it. So I said, why not translate all that I have done into a book and be an advocate in that book.
Yeah.
So that's why you have Women Against Sexual Predators. And it is messy. Okay, all right, very messy.
Yes, yes.
But once you start reading it,
Yeah.
you like it. There's so much in this. There's so much conflict in especially book 2. A lot of conflict and familiar conflict. And at one point I said to myself, how on earth are you gonna resolve all these issues that's coming up and they counter this and they counter that? And I really, really had to spend time,
Yeah.
blot out everything just to bring it together
Yeah.
so that
Perfect ending.
and yes, I make it real special. Yes, I had to tie them up. I had to drop the ball a little bit on the son because he was really very angry
Yeah.
that his adoptive mother was not his mother, and the whole thing that she knew all the time that she was his mother because she ended up babysitting him until he was 2 years old. And in book 2, I revealed that she actually breastfed him, and he did. And that's why my cousins say, and that's why you're crazy.
A lot of secrets, a lot of conspiracy, legal battle. This is family drama and a lot of drama. I think this is good for a movie. And if you are not fond of movies, then why not as well get it from straight from the creator himself or herself? Women of Passion and Changed Martha Renee, a beautiful book to read, especially when you're on a train or when you're in a public transport. I know I'm not sure if you have an audiobook for this one, but it's really nice to really flip the pages, and really immerse yourself into this drama coming from Claudette McLennon, right?
Oh, yes, it is. It really gets you. It really, really gets you because of all the different emotions and the amount of people who are involved in it. And if something goes wrong, it's not just one person. It will just tumble like a deck of cards. So it's really worth the read.
And it's very delicate at the same time. This is something that you've done for quite some time now. I'm sure you took a lot of time writing this one, but it's also very delicate because it tackles very important, very critical scenes in the book, but something that we all can learn from for sure. What would be the major lessons that all of these books have in common?
Secrets hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always good to have secrets. And it's a fine line, actually, whether to decide to reveal something or not to reveal it. But secrets hurt. And sometimes we go overboard by being secretive long after the effect, where you can say, okay, you can reveal this. But sometimes we are so intent in being secretive that we hurt people.
Yeah.
And sometimes we are secretive because we think we are protecting that person.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not.
It's not. Yeah.
And
Truth sets us free.
yes, and also forgiveness is always a theme right throughout.
Yeah.
Madison had to forgive her father
Yeah.
for not contacting them when he came back from Desert Storm after the war. And she had to learn to forgive because she was really resentful.
Yeah. This.
Yes, and the mother and the father and the child in this book, they had to learn to forgive as well in order for them to move on. There had to be an apology to say, I am sorry, Mom. I should not have kept this secret from you. I know it is wrong. And, it was that coming together. Because if you are full of pride, you don't get things resolved.
Yeah, that's true. Amazing lessons coming from all these 4, 5, 6 books in total. And it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and all leading digital bookstores. And you can check out explorabooks.com for this one. Do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
Tell everyone about your website.
It's Claudette McLennon Books.com.
Okay,
You can find all of
we're gonna flash that over on TV. Right down below, you can see the website of Claudette. And so check that out because you will get to know all of these books and immerse yourself to the drama and a lot of things happening here in this book. If you love something that is a mix of a lot of emotions, there's a lot of emotions and headache. You're gonna be rooting for sure of the main character Marlene. For example, I'm already rooting for her. In Sins of the Parents, go grab these copies. And if you're here in Frankfurt Book Fair at the FBM 2025, come visit us at 5.1. That's Hall 5.1, booth D59. And we're here with Claudette, and she'll still be here until Sunday. I think so, yeah, right? We'll be here until Sunday to greet and meet you guys. So please do come visit and check out all these books and talk personally to the author, Claudette McLennon. Thank you very much, Claudette. We love you already from the time we knew you, and we love your energy, and we love all the books that you have displayed here with Explorer Books. Our commitment is to bring this out to as many people as we can as we go across the world. From Vancouver, we went to Manila, to Frankfurt, and to London just to bring all these out. And we're doing digital marketing for these books. Only the best books out there has this chance. So please do grab a copy of these books. Thank you so much. And see you everyone here at the Frankfurt Book Fair happening today until Sunday. Goodbye for now.